What's up, IG gang? Welcome back to our channel. Gabriel here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And today I am actually alone. Yes, I'm actually working right now. So I was brainstorming a few ideas of what our next video should be, and I came upon this idea of how to talk to an amputee. So for the last 22 years, I haven't been an amputee. I've been an amputee for the last 7 months. So this is something that I actually myself had no idea about, but now as an amputee you see the inside of it and how people react to you as a new amputee. With that being said, every story is different. Every person is gonna have their own story. You know, they're gonna have a different story of amputation, all that kind of stuff. As you guys know, and as I've told you guys, my amputation was due to a motorcycle accident. Well, to begin with, I mean, the short answer is to talk to an amputee as a normal person with regular conversations, you know, about what do you do, how are you, all that kind of stuff. Not every conversation has to be about your amputation or about your leg or that kind of stuff. So first of all, talk to them as humans. And of course, there is some questions that you could ask, and there's other questions you shouldn't ask, but yet some people do. So what to ask and what not to ask. First of all, if you have a question to an amputee about their amputation, about how they are doing, that kind of stuff, ask if they are okay with answering a few questions. The other day, actually, one of my coworkers was asking me for help and that kind of stuff at work. So we were doing some paperwork, everything like that, and he asked me, he was like, hey, I have a few questions, would you mind asking? And of course I knew what they were gonna be for, so I was like, yeah, sure. And he said, I know I haven't known you for a long time, but you seem like a really chill guy, all that kind of stuff, but I wanted to ask how you lost your leg. And you know, at that time I was like, okay, that's all right, a lot of people ask me that. So I told him the story, all that kind of stuff. But there is times people just come at you and they're just like, how you lost your leg, that kind of stuff. For example, about a couple weeks after my amputation and me being home already, that kind of stuff, my girlfriend and I went grocery shopping, and we were just at Walmart, and I was on my crutches, just swinging on my crutches, and she was pushing the car and everything. So this random person just came up to us and he was like, hey man, how you lost your leg? And for a second I was like, who the hell are you? You know, like, who are you to just come and ask me something so personal? But I am that type of person who is okay with talking about it. Like I said, this is gonna vary with different amputees, stuff like that. You know, everyone's gonna go through different stages of their amputation where they might not be comfortable enough to start talking about it just out of nowhere, right? But I mean, I had so many thousands of people ask me what happened to your leg, because when I was at the hospital, so many people, co-workers, classmates, teachers, friends, family went to visit me, and that's all they asked, what happened, what happened, what happened? So I was okay with answering that question at the time, and I felt comfortable enough because I wasn't alone, I was with my girlfriend. So she kind of looked at me and gave me that look like, hey, if you're okay to answer it, go ahead, you know. So I was like, hey, you know, well, this is what happened. He was like, oh damn, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's just that I saw you like just walking around on your crutches and you're so young and this and that, so I was just wondering what happened. So, you know, that's something that I understood and I was okay with. So that will be my first point. I mean, ask if it's okay to ask about your amputation. And the reason why I say that is because as a new amputee, you feel like the elephant in the room. Every place you go, everywhere you are, you feel people staring at you, you feel people wondering what happened to you, and you see some people just completely, it blows their mind as if they've never seen an amputee. And I get it, maybe you haven't, but the way you stare at them, it's a little creepy, and it bothers us, it bothers me. And it even bothers my girlfriend, even though she's not an amputee, because we rather people come and ask us politely if it's okay to ask about it, instead of just staring at you like you're, I don't know, from another planet or stuff like that. Hey, I'm from Planet Amputee. I don't know what they think, but just ask instead of staring and making people feel uncomfortable. And that's something that I've been through a lot, because I mean, I was back to work a month after my amputation. I was still on one leg and that kind of stuff. So being at work, I don't usually work with customers, but the times I do, people just stare and they wonder, how is this guy gonna help me when he has one leg, you know? But what you guys don't know is that we're still capable of doing everything. I'm able to open doors. I'm able to walk on my crutches before I had my prosthesis, of course. I was able to do everything except running. Well, I tried to run on my crutches, but something I wouldn't recommend. It's not safe at all. And there was times that, like, when I would have to help a customer, the first thing they do is like look down at your leg and then look at you, and it's like, yes, I'm missing a leg, can I help you? And a funny story was, actually, I was at work and I was helping this customer and I needed to move his truck. So I told him, may I borrow your key so I can move your truck? And he hesitated quite a bit, actually, because he looked down at me, looked up, looked at his keys, looked down again, and it was like, here's my keys. And then I was like, okay, thank you. So I grabbed the keys, I went to the vehicle, and he's standing at the window like, is he really gonna get in my truck and drive? Can he even drive? That kind of stuff. So that makes us feel really uncomfortable. So like I said, just ask. I mean, and if you see someone like struggling, if you see an amputee or just any person, if you see them struggling, ask them if they need help, if they need any assistance. But as an amputee, you get used to it. You learn different ways to do things. Like, I had to learn a different way to open doors, that kind of stuff. Another thing is that if you have a friend that's a new amputee or stuff like that, not every conversation has to be about their amputation. Not every conversation has to be about their leg. You know, they had a pretty good regular life before, you know, that speed bump on the road. So talk about what they used to do. Like myself, I used to horse ride, I used to bike a lot, I used to go running, I used to work out, that kind of stuff. So when I do talk to my friends, that's kind of the stuff we talk about. But I did have a few friends who, during the first months of work that I was back to, and even now when I have my prosthesis, they keep asking the same questions every single day of the week that I see them. Every time that I see them during lunch, it's always like, oh man, if I was you, I don't know how I would deal with this and this and that, and how's your leg, and does it hurt, and are you able to do this, are you able to do that, can you even walk on it? All kinds of questions about that kind of stuff. And it gets annoying. Like, I mean, I know this is something new to my life, but it's not something that we always have to talk about. They just constantly keep asking and bringing back that moment of, you know, the amputation and that kind of stuff. And it makes us feel bad, because what you try to do as an amputee is that you always try to move forward. You always try to move forward. You try not to go backwards. And that's what they do. They kind of keep pushing you backwards, saying, like, talking about your leg, and, you know, oh, I bet you it's so hard for you and this and that. Like, yes, it might be hard, you have your breakdowns, that kind of stuff, but hey, we make it work. I make it work. I'm pretty sure other amputees make it work. So that's basically my second point. Don't have every conversation about your amputation. Don't allow people to do that to you either, because they are holding you back. They are pushing you back to that moment. Now, things that people shouldn't say, and this is something that a lot of people have actually mentioned to me, and even family members have mentioned it to me, and friends and that kind of stuff, and is the comment of, if I was on your shoes, I don't know how I would continue my life. I would either kill myself or fall into a depression, that kind of stuff. And that's something really bad to say to an amputee, because we do go through that, you know. We go through so many feelings, and I personally went through so many feelings that I honestly didn't know if I was going to be able to continue my life how I am doing it now with one leg. So that is just something really bad to say to an amputee, I personally think. But I mean, don't get me wrong either, like, it's okay to ask every now and then, hey, how are you? How are you doing? How's everything going? But don't make it an everyday thing that that's all you talk about, that you can't have a normal conversation with an amputee because all you want to ask is about the leg. But yeah, that's just some tips, guys, that I personally believe are important for people to know on how to talk to amputees, because I myself didn't know how to talk to them before I was an amputee myself. Like the other day, there was this gentleman at work who had lost his arm, and his prosthesis was actually like a hook. So I already had my prosthesis. I was walking around. He saw me. He kind of stared at it and probably thought like, oh, okay, you know, he knows what I'm going through. And that was it. Like, he just glanced and looked away, and that was all. But I was just like staring at his arm, and I was like, how are you able to grab stuff with that hook? And that's where I found myself like thinking, this is why people probably stare at me, because they're trying to figure out how it works, how you're able to walk, that kind of stuff. Because that's what I was doing. I was trying to look at the components and everything to see how it worked. And I was busy that day, so I didn't have the chance to actually sit with him and talk to him, which was something that I wanted to do. And even my coworker told me, hey, did you see this guy? You should probably go talk to him, go say hi, I don't know, share stories, whatever, make new friends. And that's what I wanted to do, and that's what people should do. But I was just too busy. But like I said, that's what people should do. If they have any questions, if they are just staring at you, and instead of doing that, I actually come up to you and ask, would it be okay if I ask you a few questions? And you never know, you can make a new friend out of that. Don't get me wrong, don't feel afraid of opening a conversation with a new amputee or someone who has been an amputee, because you could possibly just create a new friend out of that. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Hopefully that helped you guys understand a little bit of the insights of an amputee, how I am capable of seeing these things. And I notice, my girlfriend notices when people are just staring at me. Like the other day, we were at the store, and I guess my girlfriend was looking around, and she saw this couple just like staring at me and like looking at my leg. And what she did was that she just stared at them back, and when they noticed that she was staring, like, they just looked away and acted like, I don't know, like something was flying. Oh, look. So we notice when people do that. But I mean, it's okay to look, but then don't make us uncomfortable by just staring at it and having that face of fear, like, oh, what is that? So once again, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful and informative to you guys. Let us know what you guys would like to see next. I was thinking of doing an updated morning routine, which has definitely changed because now I have my prosthesis. So every morning is a little bit different than what you guys saw on the previous video, which I'll link in the description so you guys could see it, just in case you guys haven't, my morning routine. So let us know if you guys would like to see something like that. Also, I did just get my second test socket because I was already too small for the other one, and it fit me so big, so it was actually giving me knee problems, and they decided to give me a different one. And I think you guys have seen my cover before, so this is my cover. What do you guys think? Should I keep it on? Should I take it off? it's funny with this thing because people, customers at work and just people in general, they when they see this cover, they actually think that I possibly just broke my leg or something, which I didn't. I still don't have a leg, but I mess around with them sometimes. This last weekend, some person asked me, he was like, "Oh, you broke your leg?" And I was about to tell him like, "No, I don't have a leg," but I was like, "Oh yeah, man, I did." He was like, "Oh damn, that sucks," and that was it. So I was just like not in the moment of explaining that I don't have a leg, because as soon as you say, "Oh, I don't have a leg," "Oh, what happened?" So that question always erupts, and I was just not in a good day to answer any questions like that. So that's why I just decided to be like, "Oh yeah, I broke my leg," and that was it of the conversation. So let me know if you guys like this. I'm gonna start posting more pictures on Instagram of my leg with my cover and without the cover, and outfits that I use, which have only been shorts, but I'm trying to get back into jeans, and that's something that I'll be posting on Instagram. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. Link is always down on the description. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the post notification bell just to get notified of every video we do upload. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. We'll see you on the next video.